Alright, change up the tone a little bit here. In my last video, efficient communication technology, I was kind of being a little bit harsh, um, and it's funny saying things that we don't actually fully mean. Like, one thing I said, I think I meant what I said in terms of us just putting out what we need to put out and not being so concerned with entertaining everybody. But I actually do want to entertain people. I want to be fun to experience and to watch and to be with and to interact with. It's not a one-sided thing. It's not like I'm just putting this out for me and just to get my message across. It is that's part of it, but I also hope that it is able to inspire on the other side that same spark. It's the intention is multi-dimensional. So I'm thinking about invisible entertainment, and also these threads, literally like strands of energy that are emitting, that are it's kind of like our hair is coming out of us, but imagine we have like another layer of hair that isn't, it's energetic hair, and it's coming out from all parts of our body, and it's kind of like a what are those, Koosh balls? Yeah, it's like a Koosh ball that is goes on forever, and we're all those Koosh balls, and we all have that core that the Koosh is attached to. But so it's really like a huge structure of the Koosh strands, hopefully some organic material rather than, I don't know what that rubber, what its origins are, but imagine the air, the aether, as being those strands everywhere, and then throughout that enormous, endless ball of strands, there's all these cores within it, and those are the high concentrations of consciousness within the network, the greater web. And yeah, so I was also talking about with air or gas or wind, weather, as being physical, and it is physical. And so, but it's interesting how invisibility is both physical and non-physical, and where does consciousness and spirit come into that, and how are the invisible forms of air and space interacting with spirit? I mean, where they're both invisible, but does a ghost feel wind? No, I don't think that it's really feeling in the same way that we feel. It's feeling on a conscious level, but not on a physical level. So it's good. I mean, I want to do a disclaimer video or something saying that when we're try to put out a message, that there most likely are going to be flaws in it, and it's not going to be exactly the precise artifact that we want to inject, but it can be, and that's why the specific nature, being specific, and in some ways actually always saying that we're not claiming to know the whole answer, in that we make mistakes. And so, yeah, it's the entertainment. I love to be entertained, and the people who entertain me are some of the people that I look up to most in the world. But a lot of those people actually will say similar things, that they're not trying to entertain me. They're not just trying to be a clown, and they could be, and that would be excellent, because clowns do a service. They help. To certain clowns are great, and they spread laughter and such other various tricks. So I'm gonna call this quits, I think. But yeah, so the invisible Koosh network and entertainment / non-entertainment, and they're working together, and that segues back through the polarity. So it's like, how do we I feel like we rarely win when we say something as if it is everything. It is truth. I mean, maybe that's what we have to do, and that's what we want to do. Like, I want to know that my truth is real, and that, if I think that we're not alone in the universe, and that our consciousness is interacting with all this other consciousness, both dead and alive. So, not that I don't think that there's necessarily such thing as being dead. Your physical body is dead, but yeah, so in that sense, when we say something like we're not alone, it feels true, and I think that it is true, but do we know that there isn't maybe this like my playing kind of devil's advocate for myself, is if we say we're not alone, and that's kind of trying to transcend the dualistic polarity complex that plagues the world, but can we get away with that? Is that open-minded enough to say that we're not alone? Maybe, is there any possible place where spirit can't be? Is there any form of space, of time, space, that where spirits don't want to exist, or aren't allowed to kind of interact? Maybe there's and this is kind of a dark notion, but something that we can't even understand. And I mean, I can recognize that there's something beyond even what I feel as though I know. And so yeah, it's truth. There can be truths within something that is the opposite of what we feel is true. And so maybe we're not alone in this universe, but maybe there are other spaces. And so it's funny, because it's self and other. And first, in order to even get to the point where we believe that we're not alone and that we are alive and then we die and we go on the other side, and there's life there too. So that's kind of breaking through the wall of polarity once, getting to that truth. And then, but once we're there, and once we're understanding of the spiritual nature, is there not another higher set of polarities to address? Where maybe not, but it's I think that it is very hard to claim like and I believe in the spiritual realms, but that doesn't mean that I would limit my awareness to consider the fact that there might be something that I can't even understand yet.